Hello family, and thank you so much for tuning into this frequency. I am back with another message today, and I am planning to keep it brief. I went ahead and shuffled everything, laid it all out. If this message is for you, you may be in a moment of feeling like you have been betrayed or something has been taken from you, something has been stolen from you. You are completely exhausted. You are completely exhausted to the point of just giving up altogether, or possibly you feel like getting revenge, getting your lick back, taking something that is rightfully yours. I do think somebody is appearing to get away with something. I don't know if that's you or somebody else, but I have a feeling it's somebody else just because it looks, I'm going to give you the cards so you know. In case you're a tarot reader or interested in following the tarot, we have the Seven of Swords here clarified by the Ten of Swords. So definitely betrayal, definitely secrets being kept. And speaking of secrets, we have the runes here with some more clarifiers. The overall message appears to be one of communication and travel, but I also do see that somebody's going in the right direction. There is a future of luxury. So maybe in this moment, maybe in this battle, you're having this feeling of wanting to quit, but I do feel strongly that what has been taken from you will be restored. Restoration, restored, restorative. These are words that have been following me this week, and it looks like they're following me into this message. I do feel like someone has been living quite some time under a facade, under masks. Because we have here a message from the Divine Energy Oracle from Sonia Choquet, I believe is how you say that. And that message is live your soul, not a role. So someone has been presenting themselves as not who they are, likely to gain success, fame, and fortune. But I also think that potentially this could be you that isn't being totally authentic to who you are because you think it's your job to fulfill a certain role. Even if it's something as innocent as maybe you're a parent and you're feeling like you need to really show up as only a parent, but you have more aspects to yourself that are being hidden, and it's causing a sort of dishonesty in your life. So you're being asked to be more authentic, and the message came up more than once while I was reading over this card, but also in a shuffle with cards that didn't really come out. But it was just like, there are a lot of roles you could take, but the one that's most authentic to you is the one that people are going to appreciate the most. So if you appreciate what you're putting out there, people will appreciate that as well. So as far as like going in the right direction, I do think somebody has some serious intentions toward you, some positive ones, despite you being surrounded by maybe haters, clowns, inauthentic people who will smile in your face one minute and steal from you the next. I do think somebody is trying to steal your role. I think somebody maybe wants your role in life. They want, like, if you are in a relationship that's going really well, there might be a lot of evil eyeing you, a lot of people watching you, trying to channel your energy. So there are people who like what you have and they want your spot. They want your seat at the table. They want your role. They want to be you. But the only thing that's ever going to But someone, despite all of this chatter, all of this gossip, all of these rumors, all of these negative people who have something to say about you, there is one person who is seeing your authentic self even behind the mask, and they have very serious intentions for you. There's a 10 of Cups here, so definitely a lot in emotional fulfillment. This could be a romantic relationship. It's undeniably going to be that for a lot of people, but this could also just be your kids see you for who you are. Your parents see you for who you are. Your partner sees you for who you are. And somebody is wanting to give you strong emotional support in this time because they see that you're dealing with a sea of haters. They see that you're dealing with people coming after you. On one side, there's people hating on you, and there's other people taking notes, trying to steal your clout. Like, there's definitely some clout chasers out here just waiting for you to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and be a success so they can snatch away what they see that you are worthy of. So I was going to say what you receive, or what you have received, but I don't think you've received this yet. I do think that a lot of you, this could be a partner that you already have. It could be a new one, but I have a ring here. I pulled some charms. I pulled some runes. We even pulled some what is this called? Fortune cookies. We pulled some fortune cookie fortunes. One of them was the first one to come out after the other ones were being kind of stubborn, and then the other 4 just kind of like barfed out. So I think the main one here, let's see, the aim is useless without the way. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely seeing you've got some haters, you got some clout chasers. People want to trick you out of your spot, but it doesn't matter how much they do because they don't know the path that it took you to get here. They see you shining, but they don't know how many hours you put, how many years that you were in hustle mode. You were in grind mode. You were in the dark. You were doing things underground, and they see you pop out now and again, and they see you shining, and they see what you're worthy of, but they don't know how long it took you to get it. They're taking notes. They're taking notes. But somebody who they think they maybe, I don't know. I think some of you, not very many, most people want what you're presenting in your career. Most people they see you shining in your hobby. They want to take what you have. But I do think for a few of you, many people are hating our relationship. But for a few of you, they think if they wait to catch you slipping, which you probably feel like you're at that moment right now, they think they can snatch up what's yours, be that a relationship, a job, a partner, your family. Somebody's trying to snatch up something from you. And I'm hearing Megan Thee Stallion. She keeps playing in my head this one line ever since I read that card, ever since I read the fortune and I'm looking at these cards, all I hear in my head, and it's playing on a loop, so I gotta say it, she's interrupting me. I don't even know if I can say this. I might have to cut some things out, but she said, try to knock me off, but a still shining. Like, they're really coming for your spot. I don't care. Now I'm hearing say watching me go through it, still trying to drag me. Okay, so they see that you're struggling and they're waiting for you to get back up so they can snatch what you do next. They're seeing that you're struggling and they're trying to pick up, they're trying to pick up the shrapnel from your life and collect it and run off with it and try to make a fortune of it on their own. But it's live your soul, not a role. So if you're one of these haters, just know it's not going to work, because that's not authentic to who you are. If you're the person who the haters are coming for, just know it's not going to work because they don't have what you have. They didn't put in what you put in. Other fortunes we have here. This one fell right in my hand as I try to pick them all up. In the end, all things will be known. The universe said, talk that right now. In the end, all things will be known. So you might see them even shining, doing what you're doing. But guess what? You're about to have yours back. Everybody about to know who the authentic one was. Everybody is about to know who the OG was and who are the followers. Also, I'm hearing something else. No, it's not a here, it's a see. I don't know her name. Venus, what's her name? I'm seeing the young lady. You probably seen her too. If you're here, you might have a similar algorithm to me. But there are 2 young ladies in the hair sculpting community. And one of them, she's just doing her thing. And they're receiving a lot of backlash. They're receiving a lot of somebody is trying to get them in a lawsuit saying that you're trying to mimic what we're doing with our extensions. I don't even know who the other person is. And she refused to say their name, and I think that's a great idea. Don't even speak your haters' names. Don't even give them the airtime. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. That's excuse me. Matter of fact, even if one of your haters did it first, I'm seeing that you're doing it better. You're doing it harder. You're doing it longer. Like, you're going in, and they're wishing shoulda, coulda, woulda. So my advice to you as well as to your hater, stop worrying about what that other one doing. Keep your nose in your book. Keep your nose on your side of the yard. Keep doing your thing. Trying to knock me off, but up still shining, okay? This shine came from hustle. This shine came from years of hustle. And this person was running. I'm talking high knees with that hustle. And now they're exhausted, but it's not because of the hustle. It's because of the haters. It's because they work so hard and they see somebody, I don't know where your struggle actually came from. Let's be real. It could be like you're exhausted because of the hustle, but I really feel like it's just life. It's so many things. 10 of Swords. There are 10 swords. There's an innumerable amount of reasons. There are many reasons why you have to be exhausted and feel downtrodden and feel like there's too much overstimulation going on. But still you keep showing up. Still you keep posting. You might only be doing the bare minimum, but they're watching your bare minimum and they're eating up those little morsels, trying to have a taste of what you're doing. But they don't realize for every 1 minute you post, there were 16 hours for every minute that you posted. So they're taking notes off that 1 minute, not realizing the 16 hours that you put in. So keep doing your thing, okay? Trying to knock me off, but a bit still shining. I keep hearing it. I swear to God, I keep hearing it. Okay, this 10 of Cups telling me, though, that you've already filled up 9 cups and the universe brought you that 10th one. There is a union here. I'm hearing spiritual union, but definitely emotional. I told you, I pulled charms. I pulled crystals. There's a ring here. There's a key. Somebody is moving. Somebody is getting proposed to. Somebody's getting married. Prior to that, the first thing I noticed, there's a lot of hematite. I've got 2 pieces of amethyst, 3 pieces of hematite over here. I didn't even know these crystals were loose in the bag. They were all in a bag together, in a bag within a bag, and still 5 pieces that came out that are asking you to find a way to spiritually protect yourself. You are spiritually protected, but I do think whatever your spiritual practices are, keep going with that. That's going to give you more mental strength. And I think your haters are finding out that they can't touch you. Honestly, they're finding out that they can't touch you. But it's going to give you more internal fortitude to continue with your spiritual practices. So if you need to be praying, if you need to be meditating, if you need to be wearing your evil eye or your hematite or your amethyst or your black tourmaline or your shungite, you might need to start wearing all black. You might need to start wearing more reflective jewelry. You might need to put a mirror in your doorway, block some of that out. Okay. I don't think that these haters can't touch you. I'm being told no. Okay. These haters can't get, I was about to say, I don't think that they can. The universe said no. No, the universe said no. They can't touch you. They can't get to you. They're not coming for your spot, but your mental is so overwhelmed by this that you can feel this. Oh my God. I'm literally seeing, oh wow, even behind that. So I'm seeing past energy of homecoming. So maybe that's the key. It's a celebratory homecoming. It's a four of Wands. Some people might think of that as a twin flame card. So I do think there's a romance that you've been in already. Oh, I'm feeling called to give you a brief anecdote from my own life. I had a relationship that was probably, doomed to fail from the beginning, but it wasn't until somebody tried some magical means of knocking me off, which backfired. So that person ended up getting very, very, very ill. And then the next time they saw me, it was like they saw a ghost. But I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to get too specific. But the black on this card, I know there's at least one reader. I'm not into thinking that black is negative. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But certain readers don't realize where that came from. I'll get into more of that later. But for this reading, I know that one reader would say that that is negative energy. It could be if you believe in curses or hexes. But honestly, it doesn't take anybody to intentionally curse or hex you, because you can feel monitoring spirits who have negative things to say or have a negative perspective of you. And I think that is what it is. You're feeling it weighing heavily on you. And it really has no power at all. But you are so powerful that you're not only feeling that, but you're giving it weight. You're giving that negativity the power. Sorry, I'm getting the message as I'm receiving them. As I'm giving the message to you, I'm also receiving it. But I also want to let you know, like I said, you're going in the right direction. I literally have an arrow here. I don't know if this is a rune that, like, I just put an arrow, because some of these I made and some of these are actual runes. I don't know if this is a rune or if this is something that I created, but we've got an up arrow here. You're going in the right direction. You're going places, kid. Also, that fell out that I noticed after the hematite and the amethyst. So even amethyst is not just about protection. It's also about intuition. It's about your spiritual ability. It's about your mental fortitude. So I feel like you're going from protective into more spiritual inside, like you're noticing that your intuition about these people is accurate. But also I noticed that the citrine came out, the tiger's eye came out in 3 pieces of rose quartz. And I normally don't bring big crystals down here with me, but today I was called to, just for my own meditative purposes, to bring the clear quartz and the rose quartz down here. So I do feel like Spirit is trying to let you know there's a lot of love surrounding you right now. I strongly feel that this is your angels, but there's also this 10 of cups could be representing all of the angels and ancestors that are surrounding you. But we also have a ring and a key. So somebody's moving. There's a lot of love around you in the spiritual realm and in the tangible realm, and your luck is about to turn around for the better in a big way. And it's not an accident, okay? You didn't attract this luck by, like, don't think of luck as being something that's hit or miss. You might get it or not. It's not a lottery. You've attracted this luck because you've been putting in the work. And now the only thing there is left to do is for you to strengthen your mental fortitude. The only thing left to do is to pick yourself up off the ground, get your face out of the dirt, and remember who you are. Because you're exactly who the fuck you think you are. And that's on period. Okay? But strong travel element here. There's a crystal here. Don't give me the line as to what it is, but I'm going to tell you what somebody told me that they think it was, and then this is years later, so I'm hopefully I got this right. But I believe that the person, not that gave it to me, the person who gave it to me had no idea what it was. But they were like, "This looks like you. I think you'll like it." And it was like a relative, so I thought it was very sweet. I loved it. You know, it's just in their jewelry box. They were like, "You should keep that." They did tell me that they got it from Brazil, and then I went to another shop, not a shop, it was a farmer's market, and there was like this witchy lady here, and I asked, she had all these crystals, she knew what they all were, so I asked her, "What is this?" And it used to be a part of my pocket knife as well. It was initially a part of a necklace. I tied it to my pocket knife that I kept on me. It eventually fell off, but I do think that's significant that it was a part of a knife, and it's so beautiful. But the woman told me she thinks it's actually a green opal, I think is what she said. Something that we typically see in white, but it's green here. And it is from Brazil. And it also has a lizard clinging to it as the pendant part. So I do think there are reptiles clinging to you. There are snakes clinging to you. And this is me. I'm a fan of reptiles. So I'm going to get into what more that can mean, because I do think this is also a positive thing. I think somebody might be hugging you the way that this lizard is on this too. But there are definitely some cold-blooded people watching you, and possibly even in your circle. So if somebody came to mind, trust your intuition, because that's what you're being asked to with this amethyst, with this reading. That's not the only thing you're being asked to with that, but a lot of mental energy here. And I think that, like with the 7 of Swords, I'm giving the people who are trying to steal from you really have no power except for to take. And it's not because they couldn't have power, they're just not sharpening their swords, so they have to come and try to snatch yours. And you have 10 swords left, and they're all in your back, so it's some snakes in your circle. No offense to snakes. Sorry to the snakes. Sorry to the animal snakes. Wow, yeah, okay, so our other fortune cookie fortunes I've just been holding and not reading. A partner can help you achieve success. That's taking me back to the 10 of Cups there. So there is a partner. You have a partner in all of this who, you might have at least one person in your circle, in your corner who is a partner. You definitely have several angels and spiritual guides and ancestors and just energies who do support you and want to do more for you. But it's making me think of how, like, the older people in my family watch my stories and they see me struggling, and they might want to send me a Cash App, but they don't use that app. Or they might want to use my book, but they don't know how to buy anything off of Amazon. You know what I mean? So I do think there are people who want to support you. I do think these are going to be your elders, your ancestors. I also think there is either a romantic partner or a business partner, an intellectual partner specifically. So I think that's for everybody. So rather this be your romantic partner or friend or coworker, it's somebody who is in an intellectual partnership with you. They really want to support you. I'm seeing another fortune we have here. A rolling stone gathers no moss, but it obtains a certain polish. So they do want to see you looking your best. They want to see you live your soul, not a role. There's at least one person who knows who you are. Even when you put your mask on, they want to see you shine as who you are and gain polish. And not try to fit a role so bad, but for you to snatch up the role that you shine best in and polish that up. They want to see you earn some coin from that too, because I'm not going to explain why I see everything. I did say I'm going to try to stop explaining why I see everything, but ability is not something to be shown off. So yeah, you're out here showing who you are and what you're up to, and people are like, I'm going to steal that, because they're hating on you. They think you're showing off, but you're not showing off. You've been working hard, and these are the results. And I want you to go ahead and think of a question right now, because I did get some answers here, and I'll get to that in a second. Just think of a yes or no question. I normally don't like people to think of a yes or no question when I read tarot, but there are a couple oracle message that have a sort of yes or no answer, so I'm going to give you that in just a moment. But while I'm looking at these runes here, some of these I don't know, but some of these I know that I created, and they are intuitive. But like I said, this is, what did we say that one is? I don't know, but let's see, what did we say that is? Yeah, travel and communication. So I definitely think your partner also wants to travel with you. Many of you, that's going to be a romantic partner. Somebody is planning, like there's a house, there's a ring. The main two runes, one of them I created and one of them is like an original OG rune. The OG rune is travel and communication, and the one I created is literally green and gold. It's literally just finance, money. The card, Live Your Soul Now to Roll, has a golden circle on it. You know, I said I wasn't going to say the reason why I'm seeing the things that I'm seeing, but I'm seeing good fortune with the tiger's eye. I'm seeing happiness with the citrine. I'm seeing mental clarity. I'm seeing spiritual upliftment, but I'm seeing, we've got, like I said, we got 3 rose quartz that came out, and I also brought down a giant rose quartz just because I felt like it. But I'm also seeing in some of the runes that I created before I get into the other ones, not only are you going in the right direction, but I'm seeing May, December. So I think there's an older person that you might be romantically involved with, or there's a nice little age gap. I am seeing that something around the holidays, but especially Christmas. I'm not sure what your religion is, but with these colors is 1000% given Christmas. Also Kwanzaa. Yeah, somebody with a birthmark or a mole or a beauty mark as well. Somebody with dark eyes as well. Somebody wants to be with you forever, and there might be a significant age gap, but I think somebody's really tall too. I could be wrong about that, but I think we have a slinky bodied tall individual entering the chat. Again, even one of the runes I created, it talks about creativity, but it also mentions travel. I'm seeing a lot of yellow, but specifically this yellow is, yellow colors can mean many things, but these yellows, excuse me, in this reading, in these placements, it's giving summer. So something this summer, maybe somebody's getting proposed to on Christmas and married in the summer. I don't know, but things are moving in the right direction despite how you feel, and I know Spirit wanted me to tell you that. So to give you the answer to your yes or no question, please pause now. If you're not ready, please pause now. First answer we have is yes! Exclamation point. So that could be a good thing. I don't know what your question was. I hope that's a good thing, but we've got yes! Exclamation point. So first of all, I think if you're getting proposed to, you're saying yes. There's no question about that. And you want to know why I know there's no question about it? Because the next answer that I got was definitely. So I'm hoping that this is the answer that you wanted, because Spirit is certain. There are no other messages. These are the ones I wrote by hand. There are no messages on the back of the card. There are no reversals. It's just yes, definitely came out first. It's the color blue. I don't know if that means anything to you. And yes is the color yellow. So again, summertime. And obviously, oh, I didn't say, the card that's making me think of May is a flower. It's a yellow flower. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it's a sunflower. It is supposed to be sunflower, actually, yeah. So I do think it's a really tall sunflower. I think somebody is getting married when the sunflowers get really tall. Let's see. Let's look at what these runes mean a little more. Let me just make sure. Okay, the one that I thought that I made that was an arrow, I was like, that might not be real. The one that I made, it's not one that I made up. The name of it is Tir or Tiwaz, which I could be saying wrong. which means increase, health, success, and passion. So somebody's for sure getting married. I was going to say engaged, but married, it just really felt right to say. It rolled off the tongue. So somebody's for sure getting married here. We have Ansuz, I believe is how you say that, which is about advice or wisdom. So again, I'm being called for you to look to your elders. I think somebody, something borrowed, something blue is what I'm hearing with the definitely card. So if you say yes to a proposal, I think one of your elders has something for you for your wedding. You're something borrowed, or you're something blue, or you're something old, of course. I do think you're being asked to respect your elders as the storytellers and the path pavers, and also respect your ancestors and exalt them the way you would the ancestors in the Bible, because those are not your ancestors. Or they might be your ancestors, but you need to continue exalting your ancestors. You might be related to Abraham and them, but guess what? What about Mabel? Don't act like that's the devil, because it's not. Don't act like they didn't tell you to stop worshiping your ancestors so you can exalt theirs. And by theirs, I mean yours. If you look like me, them your ancestors, okay? It's no, the other people ain't in there. But that's just a message that I felt called to say, because that's been a conversation that I've been having a lot in my own life, in conversation, but also even videos popping up. And I'm just like, what is going on? So I think somebody needs to know that the Bible was about their ancestors, but also to know that don't stop at the ones in the Bible, because there are other ancestors that need to be exonerated, or not exonerated, venerated right now, not necessarily through you praising them or worshiping them or even providing an altar for them, but let your life be the altar to your ancestors. I do not know where that message just came from, but it felt right. Let your life be the altar to your ancestors. Be the dream that, you know, your ancestors had. So I might cut some of that out just because I think that was the point. But let's see. We also have Ing or Inguz, which is good fortune and renewal. And that is the one that came up last in line, or that I noticed and placed last in line. So as I said, you're going toward something better. You're going toward a better romance, a better life. You're going toward specifically better energy, better clarity, better mental clarity. May, December is so strong. And I don't even mean like May, December romance right now. I think your past summer, this past spring and summer might have been particularly trying for you. Maybe that's when you were in hustle culture really deep. And then maybe by now, by December, you're probably, if you're seeing this in December, you may be having a sort of mental breakdown, or at the time you're hearing this, you might be at a sort of mental anxiety, overwhelmment, breakdown era. But you are coming out of that, even if it doesn't feel like that. And I am again being called to tell you, remember who you are. And that's not just who you are. Remember who your ancestors were. They might have even had hard lives. I'm being called right now to remember my great-grandmother, both of them, okay, divas. And they were great friends as well on both sides. They ended up being friends. And I got a picture of them right now. I need to get that out of storage, but I'm saving that for when I live in a place where I have an altar. But those divas right there, the one in particular that I was called to talk about, though, she had a rough marriage that really put a burden on her life. And that had me so sad as a child that when she passed away, I wasn't even sad at all. And until I saw my grandmother, her daughter, crying. And that's when I broke, because I was sad for my grandmother. But for my great-grandmother, I was like, I know she all right. So when they say rest in peace, I know she's doing just that. So I wasn't sad. I wasn't anything. I was just kind of like, you know, that sucks, you know, for her kids, especially her one daughter who could have had a better relationship with her. But as far as herself, I was just like, I don't know if there was anything here for her, because I don't know that. And then, you know, it was years later, you know, that my mom was like telling me about this great love affair that she had. Not to say that I condone extramarital affairs, but in the era where she was married, you know, she was 14 years old when she got married to a man who was 24, you know what I'm saying? And then he was abusive, and then he was this and he was that. And I could go on and, you know, make it really sad and play a tiny violin, but I don't want to do that. I don't think that's going to be helpful to you. But what I will say that I do think is helpful is when I discovered in my young adult life that she had a great affair outside of that marriage, I was like, oh, thank God. And like, of course, everybody was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And I'm just like, well, I thought she lived a whole miserable life this whole time. I didn't think she had anything that brought her joy in this entire world. And now I know that she did have a love affair that she felt was a significant positive thing in her life. I'm not saying go having an affair. Please don't go have an affair. Please let whomever go. This is a different time now. Don't say we're staying together for the kids, because you know what's going to happen. You're just going to have kids who hate you and resent you and date other people that they have no business being with because you allowed that in your life. And then they're going to hate themselves because they think you stayed together for them. So don't do anything for the kids. Whatever reason you think you have to stay in a bad relationship, rethink that, please. Change your perspective. And, you know, take your time if you need to take your time. But I'm not saying have an affair. I'm just saying find a reason to have joy in your life. Don't let my great-grandmother, what I thought was my great-grandmother's story, be your story. And also, again, I'm saying remember those ancestors. The whole reason I brought that up was to say remember your ancestors when they were happy, regardless of how rough their life presented, because even the slaves got to have field days where they danced around and were so musical and joyous and danced in a way that time made them forget, but their soul, like that was still within their soul. And again, I'm saying live your soul, not a role. So maybe, people who were enslaved, that was a role, but that wasn't who they were. That wasn't their soul. So they remembered not through words or stories per se. They might not have remembered with their names or I was going to say with their culture, but they did remember with their culture. They didn't maybe have the dances that their ancestors had, but they remembered to dance. They remembered the energy that they could conjure up, the spark and the power that they could conjure up by moving their feet. And let's be real. There were some African slaves, but let's be real. There was only one major documented slave drop off from Africa to the U.S. in the transatlantic slave trade. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody very well informed let me know that. And I see things all the time. Like, why would they try to the Native Americans and then go to Africa to import new people to hate? So that's just, somebody needed a reminder that those enslaved people who were stomping their feet and dancing and remembering glee, even though they couldn't remember who they were, they couldn't remember their name, they couldn't remember their ancestors, but some things exist within your soul. So those same kind of dances, those same kind of music, they're Moorish people regardless. If you want to say the enslaved people were Moorish from Africa or Moorish from America, they're Moorish people regardless. And even the caves, we're all related. Every last one of us, no matter whether we came down from a cave or came over on a land bridge from Africa or we're all related to the same female ancestor as far as back as science can tell us. And that is a black woman. And even they call her the mitochondrial Eve, but they also have a mitochondrial Adam who existed much, much later because, the Y chromosome does not, they can't study that as far back as they can, the X chromosome, because the Y chromosome gets lost after a few generations. But they know that chromosomal Adam, basically our oldest living male relative of everybody in the planet, also a black man or a man of Moorish descent. So we all came from Moors. The only difference is many of us migrated north, had to live in caves, had to deal with harsh, cold climates, were also surrounded by Neanderthals, mated with Neanderthals, adopted their lifestyle, to be that of Neanderthals or beasts. And since there was no sun, they had to evolve to absorb more sun. And in doing that, over time, they developed white skin so they could absorb more sun. But guess what? Even those people, I'm saying more sun, M-O-O-R is what I'm hearing, and S-O-N is what I'm hearing. Because guess what? You're the son of a Moor. Rather your skin is black or white, doesn't matter, or in between. You're the son of a Moor. You're the daughter of a Moor. Your people are Moorish. It's just some of us also have Neanderthal DNA and some of us do not. But every last one of us came from mitochondrial Adam and mitochondrial Eve, who are both of African descent. And I hope you can't hear in the background, one of my relatives is washing laundry. So hopefully that's not distracting. But I just want you to know, even if you don't know who you are, even if you don't know where your ancestors lived or where they came from, it's in your soul. It's in your DNA. There's some things they can't steal from you. There's some things that we mimic over time and we're like, oh, I don't know where that came from. And then we look back in history and there it is, because that's in your soul. So live your soul, not a role. That is the message. It's the first one I took. So let's take this message home by reading that from the book. Like I said, this is from the Divine Energy Oracle by Sonia Choquette. Choquette is how you spell that, in case I'm butchering it. The message is, be wary of pigeonholing yourself into certain roles, false identities, and fixed behaviors such as mother, father, boss, or worse, failure. These roles can leave you limited and unable to connect with and express your true nature. Present struggles with others can be attributed to falling under the spell of some type of role playing that does not allow your true spirit to shine and prevent genuine connection with others to occur. Your divine energy is calling you to connect with others in an authentic and available soul-to-soul way, recognizing the things you share in common, and avoid false role-to-role interactions that create distance and misunderstanding. Your divine invitation: allow your divine energy to flow freely. Drop your defenses and pretenses and relax your fears. You are a beautiful and bright soul. Let others enjoy the real you. They will love you. And just to take that home, some things I want to highlight. Failure felt significant, like me and others might have related to that label. But guess what? It's a false label. And we're the first person to give that to ourselves, usually, not others. And we also are the first people to decide what other people see about us. They're going to interpret it the way they want to, but we can show them what we need to show them. So remember who you are, and they will see it. They can interpret it however they want to, but they're going to see who you are, and they're going to learn you're exactly who the you think you are. You're exactly who your ancestors thought you would be. Okay, let's see that. You're their dream come true. And another thing where it says to connect with others in an authentic and available soul-to-soul way, that is making me think that the universe encouraged me to tell that message of reminding us that we all came from the same ancestors for a reason. I don't know what's going on in the political climate because I specifically don't listen to it, but we all came from the same place. Doesn't matter. If this ship is sinking, we're all on the same boat. So guess what? That's your cousin. Rather you want to give them food stamps or a job or DEI, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't care, because guess what? That's your cousin. Your ancestors are looking down upon you right now with judgment. And are they smiling, or are they shaking their head because you left your cousin out in the cold? Either way, they don't need you. If that was for you, they don't need you, okay? If I'm talking to one of the haters right now, they don't need you. They don't need you. You can close the door, but guess what? Every time you close a door, that's the other thing. If you want somebody to not have an opportunity, so you close the door on them, you just really messed up. Because now they're going to make an opportunity. And it's going to be greater than the one you could have gave them. Because now, you know what I'm saying? Every time I post, I'll be seeing people getting freaking money when they post their Cash App, and I get nothing. They're getting free laptops, and I'm just trying to put gas in my tank so I can make some money so I can eat. I'm like, okay, that's okay. Don't help me, because you know what that means? Now I got to make you money. All right, and I'm gonna bleep some of these swear words out. I do hope you enjoyed this message. I'll be back with another one real soon. Thank you again for tuning into this frequency. Peace. I totally forgot until I put everything away, but as I'm putting the crystals away, I remember that I didn't give you the spiritual significance of lizards. Protection and defense. So again, there's talking about protecting yourself. So I highly recommend wearing an amethyst or some type of crystal that is good for protection if you have one. or also just getting your energy right with meditation, because what you put out, you're either going to get a mirror or you're going to get something compatible to that. So if your energy is better, so too will the energy around you be. But also the biggest one that I saw that I was like, oh my God, stop the press. I need to let them know. Lizards can symbolize connection to ancient wisdom. So after all of that, I did a spiel about ancestors, about our ancient connection to our, common ancestry. But I'm going to read this off really quick. Lizards have existed for millions of years, carrying an aura of ancient wisdom. In spiritual contexts, they're often seen as keepers of ancestral knowledge or timeless truths. Encountering a lizard might invite you to tap into your inner wisdom or seek guidance from your heritage. So if you are aware of your heritage, eat that up. You know what I mean? Go definitely do a deep dive into ways that you can bring that more into your modern life. If you don't know your heritage, go to the traditions that you feel called to. Like, for instance, like I said, we all are of Moorish descent. So I don't know who my recent ancestors are necessarily, but I do know who we all were, which were Moors. And I highly relate to Moorish culture, Moorish activity, Moorish teaching styles. Even the name of my shout out to my publishing company. I don't know if I can say what the name of my publishing company is because it could be interpreted as something that might be blanked out. So I won't say it, but it is a play on the name of the Kushite kingdom is what I'll say, where Nas famously said people came to get books to learn. So obviously I had to do something for my people, and I don't know who all my people are, but I know that we came from Moorish descent and Moorish legacy, and since that resonates with me, I try to bleed that into everything that I do. Just being, even if like for me, like Black American culture, that's also a part of my heritage. So maybe I think of sometimes like the Black elite, especially around like the Great Depression era. The Great Depression sort of missed Black Americans because they already weren't allowed to get loans. They already were struggling and building their own thing. So hence why the fires in Tulsa happened, and every time Black individuals built something up, it got torn down because a lot of times their Caucasoid counterparts were having we're in the middle of a national struggle. And you see it now. We get even in this last political year, you see that numbers aren't well, people aren't doing well at a high rate. Black Americans are doing more line dances than ever. So I am leaning into Black American culture, and even further, and like way far ancient Moorish culture, and things that I can look at and identify with, even if it's not necessarily in my blood. And don't recommend me taking a blood test, because who should make those but the descendants of the people who have been hiding our history to begin with. So it's all love over here, but it's also all facts, all tea, a little juicy tea. So speaking of magic and tea, if you would like, you can go check out me, my book, and everything around my publishing company at knrobertson.com. That's K, N as in Nancy, ROBERTSON.com. Thank you so much again, and peace.